Alright, hey there groovy dudes and dudettes, this is Thomper Be Thompin', and this is the 11th round of the 2021 VCHSS season. It's at Pipsico, which is about half an hour, give or take, southeast of Richmond, Virginia. This is the morning event, so this is your C-Class riders, and I'm on the J line. For reference, I'm a beginner, this is my 4th race ever. Like I said, this is only my 4th race ever. I'm not really going for the whole shot. Just trying to continually get better every single race. And I have to say this straight away, this course was so much fun. Conditions were perfect. The course setup was fantastic. There were no issues, no confusion. So a huge thank you to the VCHSS crew for putting together yet another amazing setup. So again, I'm on the J line. There's like approximately 16, 17 of us. And I'm just trying to get used to this bike. This is my 4th race ever, 3rd race that's on this actual bike, 300 XC-W. And by letting that guy pass there, I am now bringing up the rear for the J line, which is fine by me. So I'm feeling pretty fresh, feeling pretty good. And again, just trying to work on the technique. Trying to get faster, trying to go slow less. Trying to crash less. That definitely ends up happening a couple times, as you can tell by the intro. But my confidence is growing on the bike and on this terrain. But this course was so much fun. It had a good variety. Quite a bit of elevation change, but the hill climbs and descents were pretty short. You had some really tight sections. We did not have a lot of wide open sections though. Just a couple. Spent most of this race in 3rd gear. I'm using a GoPro 360. I've got it set on stabilization and horizon lock, and it's on my chest on my shoulder strap. This seems to be kind of the best setup I could find so far. So right there, obviously I'm only showing like the better sections of the race, cutting out some of the more boring stuff. Or if I'm letting people pass and things like that, but I'm complaining about arm pump, but this time it's only in my throttle hand, I've noticed, so that seemed to stay with me for about the first 20 to 30 minutes of the race, and then it finally started to go away. I've heard of other riders saying the same thing, but arm pump in my left, in my clutch hand wasn't too bad. But it definitely, like all the other races I've done so far, has taken me at least a lap or so to really, really warm up physically and also mentally, so I can just kind of lock in and push. Well, push hard for my skill level here. A couple of cats come flying by me. This is a really good course to push it hard, especially with the conditions that the dirt was in. my last race, I had a lot of problems stalling the bike out on some of these abrupt descents, and I've been practicing at that a little bit, and definitely got a lot better. I only had a few stall outs this go around, so that's pretty good. Okay, here's one of the faster sections where you can just push it, dip down, come on up. Quite a few braking bumps on some of these descents. And there were maybe 4 of those small bridge crossings. Oh yeah, right there. I'm thanking the 300 for having that low luggability and making a less skilled rider look a little better. It happens again right here. So I approached that hill wrong, and I was able to just kind of keep throttling. I had to slip the clutch a little bit there in 3rd gear just to keep it from stalling, but the 300 really can save you from a couple of spots. The spot was really cool. It was very tight but fast. Just saying hi to that tree right there. Yeah, then it tightens up again. This little spot was cool. You run through this gully, and the best line is off to the right here. Instead, I take that left-hand line, which is, I guess, like the main line, the most shootout line. Another really tight, really fast section. So I'm feeling pretty good so far this first lap. A couple of like close calls here and there, but hadn't laid the bike down yet. Picking okay lines here and there. Trying the whole go slow less thing. And it's working out pretty good this first lap. Off trail there to avoid extra tight turn and end up having to slow down anyways for that log crossing. Here was one spot where we could open it up a bit, but I don't know where the next tight turn's gonna be, so taking it a little bit easy through here. Yep, we dive right back in. Shortly after, kind of another one of those little wide open spots through the woods. This is lap 1, so I haven't seen this stuff yet. Yeah, and it drops down into this this muddy section here. Well, muddy for what the day was. Just made the roofs in this little spot much more slick, so I had to pay a little extra attention to those areas. Got got some really cool off-camera hill climbs here, just kind of sweeping up the hill. That was a fun spot. Another little bridge crossing. White shirt guy. So me and this cat here, I never did catch his number plate, so I'm unsure. I'm unsure who the rider is, but he and I go just back and forth basically the rest of the entire race. I might get a pass on him here or there, and then 10 minutes later he ends up passing me, and we just went back and forth. It was a great little kind of mini battle we had going on. He was a good rider, definitely better than me. He was a lot smoother. But yeah, it's always fun to when you can ride behind someone, just kind of watch them and you can go fast and go faster. So again, lap 1 was feeling pretty good here. A couple close calls, nothing too insane. Obviously, by all the people here, I can tell that we're coming to the scoring area. So I'm feeling pretty good at this point. Lap 1 in the books. All right. I'm thinking maybe I'll have one of the races where I don't crash or lay the bike down. Yeah, well, as you can tell from the intro, that is yet to come. So lap 2, people finally started really gathering around this spot. This was I guess the biggest little ravine crossing for this course. Really cool spot. We had a decent handful of those little log crossings. None of them were too big to where you had to slow down a lot and really bump up and over them. A lot of them were small enough to kind of just cruise over. So lap 2, still feeling good. Kind of settling in as far as fatigue and stuff goes, so just kind of becoming numb to it all. Trying to be fast. I'm also trying to recognize when I'm pushing it a little bit too hard and getting a little too tired, so I can back off just a hair. Oh, that inside line. I took that every lap. That was the line right there. But this section right here, it feels like you can go way faster just by looking at it, but I've got these deep whoops that were kind of unavoidable, and with this really soft XC-W suspension, I just didn't really want to push it yet. A couple of spots like that where I took it slow, and I probably just could have went quite a bit faster. Guy here on the Kawasaki. I actually met him at the start line. Really nice guy. He and I also went kind of back and forth the rest of the race, so that was fun. And I'll put whatever place I came in down in the description below here. But oh yeah, right there. I tried to go down and grab 4th gear, but ended up pushing down and grabbing 2nd. Because this is my first race with these Alpine Star Tech 7s. I only had them on about an hour break-in ride. So yet another thing to kind of get used to out there. But they're pretty broken in now, I would say. I was able to get the bike into 4th gear in quite a few spots out here. That felt good. Oh, these guys. Okay. I owe a big apology to the cat up there in blue with the orange backpack, the guy immediately ahead of me. So obviously I feel like I can go faster than this group, well, at least the leader. Technically you can't tell how fast the guy in second there is. But I'm sure he's wanting to pass too, just hasn't had a good spot yet. So I take it upon myself to try and squeeze by them when they get kind of log jammed up this hill. And I don't do it. Instead, I log jam in front of that guy, I stall the bike, and then I'm hitting trees. So I'm sorry, man. Yeah, I hope you get to see this. My intention was not to cut you off and bully my way up front. I saw you guys get log jammed for a second. Thought I saw an easy pass by skirting around that tree. Ended up being a terrible idea that was very poorly executed. So my apologies, man. I actually apologized to you immediately after the race, right at the finish line, but turns out it wasn't you. I found out here in editing. It was just some random other guy that looked a lot like you with your setup. So I'm out there apologizing to some random dude. He's like, huh? No, you didn't cut me off. You're fine, man. I'm like, all right, well, sorry anyways. So I'm a little discombobulated after that. Like I'm not out there trying to run and gun and cut people off. So it's got me thrown through for a loop a little bit here, and I end up catching the guy who was ahead of us. He was actually going pretty fast, but this isn't very long after that little uphill snafu, and then I get into it again right here. Oh yeah.
Sorry, man.
So I shouted sorry to the cat who I cut off because he just passed us as I was checking the sturdiness of that tree there. Alright, so I know from my small amount of experience at this point that I'm going to pull over just for 15 seconds, fix my hand guard, get some water, calm down for a second. So I've noticed when I get all discombobulated like that, that's when I make multiple mistakes right after each other. So I took about 15-20 seconds and I just got right back on the trail and started going again. I'm trying to eliminate any stopping whatsoever. So second lap, back into cruise mode here. Just trying to get back in the zone. Able to turn on the jets there a little bit. Here's that really tight but fast area. Maybe halfway through the first lap, give or take. Cool spot. I vaguely remember this spot in this quick left turn. Overshoot it a little bit. pretty part of the trail. This had to be the tightest section of the whole track right here. It's got these thin little trees, and they're everywhere. Bobbing and weaving. I'm really thinking about cutting these bars down, but I don't think I want to do it until I get a second setup. So I can kind of go back and forth, choose what's good for me. Probably start with like 1/4 inch on each side, go from there. But there it is, lap 2 is in the books. Starting lap 3 on this short course. I think it was about 6.2 or so miles, somewhere in there, 6 point something miles. But aside from that little uphill snafu logjam thing that I created, I'm feeling good. Bike's still working fine, I'm still working fine. I did hit my right arm on that tree pretty good, but I don't feel that pain till later.
Whoa!
Almost lose it right there.
That was like
Lap 3 starting out pretty nice. Find a little hot line there. Make it pass like a normal person. So this little downhill was off camber, and on the 3rd lap, some of those roots were getting exposed. So it definitely started to slide a little bit going down that. It's really cool how the track changes each lap, even with just a couple hundred riders. And then I let the guy in the white shirt get ahead of me again. So once again, he and I were just going back and forth. That was a lot of fun. I think I get an assist from Mother Nature up here. Oh no, before that. I don't know what happens right here. It's a hill, I've done it before, but for whatever reason I have the world's tiniest loop out. Bike was getting away from me or something, I can't even really remember, but I just laid it down. So hop back on, push it up and out, give a little once over of all the levers and everything, and okay, hit the trail. Not quite sure what happened there, but I do have a theory that when you crash, it allows people to pass you. Still working on that theory. But I'm wondering if I don't crash, people might not pass me as often. Comment below if you have any experience with that. So I think I catch back up to him here. And he was riding really well through this spot, but he got caught up on this, like, I guess that's too big to be called a sapling, but I got a cheap assist there from Mother Nature to pass him. But I'm pretty sure he passes me again later on. Trying to get around this guy here, but no really good spot to do it. And I remember that there's kind of like an off-camera climb coming up here, and I go and I make the right-hand turn, try and pass by this guy. But what I don't see happening, oh yeah, good pass right there. That guy dove right between us. Oh, and before that, right after this bridge, look immediately in front of me. Right on the trail, there's an exhaust pipe. Right there. You can barely see it. I think it was an FMF off a 4-stroke, possibly, judging by the size of it. Yeah, just a random exhaust pipe laying in the middle of the trail, and I tried to wheelie right over the thing. So yeah, like I said, still trying to make the pass on this guy. I think it comes up here. I take what I think is a hotline up top, and whoa! Did not realize that guy was kind of stopping right there. Probably letting that guy by, taking a break or whatever. That was a little sketchy. Third lap's going pretty good. Had that little silly thing. And then this cat comes out of the left, dives right down in front of me into this ravine. That was such a good pass. Yeah, and he was fast. I was so impressed by it, I just had to lay down for a second. I just admire it. Yeah, again, no idea. A pretty easy uphill climb, sweeping to the left, but there was a really thin but deep rut. And I think I just got off balance. I don't know. I was probably sitting down going up that hill. I should have been standing anyways. But there it happens again. These people pass by me as I'm laying down on the ground. I gotta figure that out. That was nice of him to let me by there. So I don't have too much farther to go here on this third lap. I'm just trying to finish strong. I know the likelihood of a fourth lap is very small at this point, but a fella can always hope. I want to be out there for as long as I can every race. But I got a lot faster in certain areas, and I'm starting to slowly but surely apply all the appropriate techniques and take what I'm learning on YouTube and stuff and putting it in the real world. And I also identified some areas where maybe I push it a little bit too hard or I get a little too lax. So I'm getting better and better every race, and it's a lot of fun being on this journey of kind of being in the bottom of the C class here. I have no delusions that I'll ever be winning C-class races, but hey, if I ever make it up in the mid-pack, I'll be pretty happy. So I can tell we're getting pretty close to the finish line here. I'm pretty stoked. This was a good race for me. Couple of close calls there. Couple of trees that definitely didn't want to let me pass through them. this was a good race for me, for sure. A lot of improvements, and I was excited, as you can tell.